Right everyone, this is a nice little Rome 2 battle quickly just to show off some tactics of defending a city as Macedon, who the faction I usually play as, using, you know, smaller armies built around, you know, higher leveled, more veteran, expensive troops against, you know, larger armies of sort of a mishmash of all kinds of troops. I've also got Joker in the recording with me now, so he'll probably mumble on and chat whilst I
Hello.
just talk about the game in general. But yeah, Rome came out, and first Rome was great, and medieval games, well, the Total War games have been going downhill in my opinion since medieval really, but Rome 2 is still a relatively good game, and you pick it up pretty cheap now because it basically flopped when it came out because of bugs, crashes, all kinds of carnage really. So yeah, don't really play it a lot. Played it more when it first came out, but it's one of those games that you sort of, there's that point in it where your sort of nation or faction is powerful enough to do whatever you want and fight anyone, but it's just so much micromanaging and fixing one problem after another that the game quickly loses its fun. And by that point, you know, your armies are that big that you can just swamp them with numbers, and it's just not a particularly fun game. I mean, even on the hardest difficulty, all you have to contend with for that is the enemy troops killing your guys quicker than that you can kill them, and the happiness problem, which is, well, terrible. So yeah, it's a pretty long loading time for each battle, but this should be about, well, depending on what I've got the unit sizes set to, obviously, to account for my frame rates probably dropping like fuck during this. Right, let's see what points I've got to defend. Alright, I've set this so they don't have catapults, otherwise the only tactics that really work for pike nations like Macedon or any of the other real Greek fractions. Right, so where's my other gate? Oh, they'll all be coming for that one gate anyway, I expect. But yeah, right now I've got it set to battle realism mode, so I can't see. I can only see so far, so it stops you from you know, being able to tell where the enemy's coming from before they even have decided themselves. So yeah, what I'm doing here is just lining up my pike units around the front of the gate. The graphics aren't set that low, you can barely tell what they are, but Macedonian foot companions are, wow, I don't know if they're the best pike infantry in the game, but they're definitely up there. So yeah, what you want to do is set your pikes up so that, well, basically so no matter where they go, they're getting stabbed by pikes. I mean, the pikes only really work if the enemy charge into them. I mean, the pikes can push into the enemy, but their stamina drops insanely quickly if they're using their pikes and marching forward at the same time, so a lot of the time it's better to let the enemy come at you if you can, which is why in a siege obviously pikes are always more handy to have than not. Again, I mean, it all depends on personal preference really to how you want to do this. Actually, I'll pull these guys back a bit actually so I can let them. Oh, I'll just fucking, yeah, I'll just do it and make another video later to show about more detailed running your infantry around while you're in a siege, but yeah, I'm fighting, oh, yeah, I forgot I'm fighting two armies. Right, well, that's not great, because I've just realised that I'm fighting two different nations, so, oh, they got catapults. Oh, I must, oh no, they both are there, okay, that's alright. I thought they were going to come from two different directions then. Well, apparently he's under attack by something, but I think they've got some scorpions. I'm not sure what I gave him. Oh, no, that's just like cavalry moving around. Yeah, this for some reason I've got a problem with my mouse, so if I spin my mouse too quick, it drops my frame rates down. But I'm getting a pretty steady 20. Oh yeah, look, Jesus Christ, these graphics are bad. They've got some eastern scorpions there, just throwing bolts at my light peltasts. Again, you know, they're on the walls. Oh, that's the thing. Always turn off skirmish mode if you're in a siege. It's better to have your men fight to the death and hold the enemy up than it is to run back. Again, I mean, oh, heavy shot, that's new, I haven't seen that. Well, again, heavy shot could be a plan if your gate's been breached and you're trying to kill them before they get to it. so I'm going to order that to be used. Peltasts again, I've got a flaming shot. A flaming shot isn't really worth doing unless you're attacking and you want to try and break them, or you're fighting against elephants, in which case javelins are your only real bet against them. Actually, I need to order them back onto standard shot because they've got some archers who are just out of range, which again is not a bad tactic for clearing the walls, but it takes up quite a lot of ammunition trying to kill even one unit on the walls, so you're better off just trying to storm them quickly with some light skirmish infantry and taking out their archers and then trying to sneak them around the back of a decent unit, or, you know, getting them back over the wall again. But yeah, I haven't played this in a while, so I'm a bit rusty, but I'll be able to win this. So my archers are already basically out of ammo, so put them on the heavy shot, just try and have them kill these shield bearers again. Shield bearers are a bit of a problem to fight against because they're defensive infantry, so they are always quite a good choice for sending up against the walls to burn. Set the walls on fire and get them burning. But yeah, here I've got my pikes and infantry arrayed, so that any units that come in are sort of sandwiched between them all. Just get that guy's face minimised. I want to click that one, yep. Again, I mean, you can see how many of them I'm killing now. My gate, you know, has barely been touched. I mean, I have got blood mod running and installed, but it doesn't really show unless you're playing on Ultra, and I can barely record this, well, I can barely play it on Ultra just because the game's so poorly optimised. You know, considering I've got a high-end computer and I'm using an R9 290, I should be okay to run this on high, but the game just does it so badly that, you know, it just doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you can, ranged units, but again, sometimes it's better to have only one of them or two of them fire, or you make the mistake I've just done, and basically your archers will be out of ammo, because you just don't get enough to, you know, keep up a sustained bombardment. But yeah, by now, I mean, a lot of AI normal human players would have kept out of archer range and used their ballista or their archers to burn the gate down. But here they've just opted for sending infantry in it, which isn't a bad choice. I mean, again, now what they're doing, sending Royal Peltasts, again, great light infantry. Silver Shield Swordsman I've never used myself, but I think they're effectively just standard swordsman units. I mean, again, the pikemen they're sending up now are their, you know, top-notch pikeman unit, and that's a bit of a shit move by the AI, really, but my archers are pretty much out of stuff to throw, so that'll be over soon, and then they'll be pushing up through the gate. I might have to just record this with 3 or 4 armies coming at me, to be honest, because the way Rome works, it's, even on hard like this is set to, it's a bit funny to tell whether your guys are OP or they're really ridiculously weak. I mean, I could probably march out now into the open field and probably slaughter them all without losing more than 100 men. Actually, saying that, I lost quite a few to the archers, so maybe I'd lose more than that, but now that my rate of fire is completely dropped out because my archers are out of ammo and I've only got 1 unit of them left, I'll have used flaming shot. Again, rapid reload and stuff is only really worth using when they're at the wall. I mean, I don't know where their ballistas have got to, not ballistas, fucking javelin throwing things have got to.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
They're still firing, but they're obviously firing at the infantry on the walls, which again is not a good plan ever because it's just so hard to hit them. I mean, on certain maps you can get up on a hill behind the enemy, like on a... I can't remember the name of the battleground. It's like a Celtic city, and it's got a big old hill behind it. Again, I mean, that one you can basically keep them off the 3rd capture point with archers alone. I mean, again, I'll probably do one about using Roman tactics where it's more about using your infantry to pin them in place and then flank them with infantry or auxiliaries. But at the moment I'm just, you know, showing Macedonian tactics and what they do, which, I don't know, the Macedonians sort of do it all, but the best thing they do really is pikes and shock cavalry. I mean, I'll show you how good the shock cavalry is. I don't know if this is going to work out like I want it to, but I thought of them to put their pikes down, because I think if you charge onto your own pikes you lose men. I'm not 100%, but I really don't want to find out. I mean, the shock cavalry again, Macedonia's best feature. Also, there's always a bug with the gatehouses where sometimes if you order your men to go through them while they're on fire, they'll not put out, but they'll just stop burning and remain jammed open, where the enemy won't be able to open them. They're all about to miss the charge. But the Macedonian shock cavalry are They're usually a little bit better than that, but I'll move them away so they get a better run up. Alright, let's pick a unit on the line. Some Scythe Chariots, right, don't really want to try and tackle them. Right, let's order for those 4-axe swordsmen. Use the trample ability as much as you can, it just boosts the rider's charge. But I mean, you know, they can usually massacre most infantry units in the first charge, but they're not really having too much luck today because they haven't got the room to ramp up to a decent speed, but they should charge through a few of these. Right, they're probably a write-off now that they're sort of trapped, but I'll try and order them back in. I'm not going to send anything else out to try and show off and fall on my face like that, but I mean, I've probably lost half my unit there, maybe more, but they just got caught in a stupid place by me pissing about of them. But yeah, the reason I chose to fight against the Pontic or Pontiac or whatever it fucking is, and the Seleucids, or Seleucids or whatever they are, is mostly because their banner colours are completely different to Macedonia, which again doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but when you're fighting Rome on Rome, or you know, Rome against the Etruscan League or whatever, it can get confusing in the middle of a battle to whose units are whose. So again, I mean, now they should, you know, they'll burn the gate down within seconds, but once they get through, they'll hit the pikemen, and they'll basically not be stopped, but they'll be corralled. And then if things start to turn bad for my pikemen, I don't know, they use archers to kill majority of them or whatever. I've then got shield bearers right behind them, who they're like hardcore hoplites, these guys. Got my general as well there. The visibilities, war cry, which obviously if you play it a lot reduces their morale, and then intimidate, which I believe stops them from using any abilities. Foot companions behind them, and then if worse comes to worse, I got the third line of 4-axe swordsmen who can use shield wall to, I guess, give them more bracing and more defense while they push through the pikes. But really, there's no way to beat pikes if you're coming at them head on, which is why in a siege you've always got to take enough catapults to burn the gate down. Oh, see here they've got my gate on fire, so now just speed up the time. Put it on fast forward, let them shoot me with a shitload of arrows. Recreation archers die. Where are their archers? See, their archers are too far back for me to be able to cavalry charge them. But I expect they'll run out of arrows before I lose enough of my men to be serious. Right, there we are, the gates are utterly destroyed. See, if this was me, well, I'd try and use the archers to break it or kill the general of mine. Normally, against players, it doesn't really matter when your general dies if your units, or if you play as the right faction. Like some people who like to throw their units into the general into the mix more as a warrior will pick nations which mostly have the disciplined unit, which basically means if the general dies, it doesn't matter at all, and they all have a better chance of rallying. So they're more for the long-term kind of game plan, as opposed to some of the Celtic factions who are more about if you can get them on the run, you can kill them before they can even reorganise. Right, but now the burning oil is about to pour down. If you can upgrade your gates with it in the main campaign, if you get in trouble from the air, it's well worth getting. I mean, it killed a whole bunch of them then. But the pikes basically work like that. They walk into them, and then they jab and just keep pushing them back. I mean, I've seen some units like Oathsworn in the multiplayer can just charge right through pikes. But I mean, the Scythe Chariot again, I'm not sure what'll happen here because I've never seen, well, the chariot died. But now, I mean, you know, order the general in there as well. My game's completely slowing right down now because of my graphical memory being supposedly low, which 4 gigs isn't particularly low really, is it? But probably should have turned banners off, but it's a pretty good bottling technique. It works very well in multiplayer, but a lot of players will take archer heavy armies on sieges backed up just by heavy defensive units. Like a lot of people, if there's a siege going on, will play as Rome and just use the heavy armoured legionaries, and well, they're a bit of a pain in the ass to kill. I mean, again, a lot of people will try and use pikes. Pikes and slingers works quite well because you can just drive the enemy archers back with slingers or javelins. I mean, slingers against pikes, it's not really an effective way to deal with them, but I mean, like you're seeing here, pikes aren't overpowered as such, but I mean, if I do this, just to show what happens. I mean, if they can get a gap behind, I'll see what happens. I mean, it'll show what happens. I mean, I think I've already killed a whole bunch of their army in that bit, but I've ordered my other 2 pike units back, and they'll be able to spread out now. And a smart AI, obviously, well, not smart AI, but a lot of players, if they can kill 1 unit, will just push clean through that gap. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I've moved them to give them the chance. But, I mean, again, the shield bearers are holding. I don't think I've actually lost a pikeman. I mean, they should be getting tired by now. And see, just the sheer numbers, the gap between where the pikes were and where the infantry was has dropped right away. I mean, they've only lost 3 men, and I'll show the breakdown thing here. They killed nearly 300. I mean, the general's killed. I don't know why it closes like that. It's only 30. The 2 pike units, you know, 310. They get a whole lot of kills, the pikes, but a lot of it is knowing where to use them. I mean, see, look, yep, there we are. Their swordsmen have come round and are now butchering their way through the Peltas, so I'll just order my archers and all that just to jump in there with swords and try and kill that 1 Pontic unit. But yeah, I mean, you know, just a single unit of pikes probably could have held this. I mean, it's all about using the infantry in the right place. I mean, you could try and do this with a decent high-leveled unit of swordsmen, but it doesn't work as well because, you know, they fight one-on-one then, or even in formation. But when you got the pikes, it keeps them pushed right back, and they just get bottled in the corner, and they end up getting stabbed to death. But yeah, I think that's about it for the battle. I mean, what else is outside the walls? Swordsman, swordsman again, more swordsman, more swordsman. Yeah, I picked their army basically just being infantry. I mean, cavalry would have worked the exact same way as if they would have died quicker. Didn't particularly fancy giving them too much artillery because then it defeats the object of infantry versus infantry tactics, but I'll probably do another few videos like this just talking about different fractions and what they're like. I mean, Macedon is my personal favourite. Don't know why, they just sort of are. I mean, that's about all I've played on the online. Well, Macedon and Rome. Actually, I think I play Rome more online as Rome than I do as Macedon, but I think that's just a preference thing. I mean, I usually play with a partner, so it's one of us goes Rome, one of us goes Sparta, and then he holds them in place, and the Roman Legion just comes around the back and kills them. Or the Syrian archers again, another excellent unit, which is, there we are, look, heroic victory. Let's have a look at the breakdown, it'll show up in a second. Yep, so you barely lost 100 men against them. They outnumbered me nearly 2 to 1. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of that. I'll just show a quick breakdown of what their units were. Again, some javelin men, silver shield swordsmen, shield bearers, hillmen. I mean, it's a mixture of high-end and low-end infantry units, some scythe chariots, just because I've never fought against them before. And then mostly hill folk, Pontiac swordsmen, you know, Eastern Scorpions. I suppose I could have given them some Orungas or something, but you know, the AI will just bombard you with them till they run out of ammo. Then they'll come in, and I didn't want to make a 20-minute video of me getting my ass blown to pieces. But yeah, that's about the end of that. If anyone has any requests, if anyone even watches this of a nation they'd like me to battle or something, just throw it out there. Anyway, that's it. Peace out.